News Services Division of Akashvani presents Northeast Diary.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Northeast Diary. As we explore the northeastern part of India, it gets intriguing to know about it in each episode. Let me share with you the exciting stories we have lined up for today. In this episode, we will have a special interview with Pangar Kamzak Longpa, the founder of Cipher Guard, a cybersecurity startup. We will also delve into the rich customs and culture of the Edu Mishmis of Arunachal Pradesh. But first, let's head to Meghalaya, where the state is planning to upgrade its Anganwadi centers.
The Meghalaya government has announced plans to upgrade over 2,000 Anganwadi centers across the state into Early Child Development ECD centers over the next 2 years. This was revealed by Sampath Kumar, Principal Secretary for Health and Family Welfare, following a review meeting at the main secretariat. The transformation of these centers will be supported by the Community and Rural Development Department, focusing on creating improved learning environments for young children. As part of the efforts to address issues like malnutrition and stunting, the state government is partnering with IIT Bombay to provide specialized breastfeeding training.
The first state to start a comprehensive early childhood development mission. Early childhood development mission is essentially how actually we can support the children and pregnant mothers, lactating mothers, in terms of how actually they can provide better nutrition. In fact, we started providing trainings to the mothers on effective breastfeeding techniques, involving the IIT Bombay. So that's one partner that what we have.
Kumar also mentioned that 40 trainers have already been equipped under the Early Childhood Development Program. He emphasized that Meghalaya is the first state in India to launch a comprehensive mission dedicated to early child development, involving key departments such as health, social welfare, education and rural development.
We have a massive program to upgrade all the Anganwadi centers as ECD centers, in the sense like they will be able to provide better learning and an experience for the children when they go to the Anganwadi centers. So for that, again, we have been actually taking some very top architects to think about it, very innovative designs, how actually the Anganwadi center can provide such kind of a learning environment.
The primary goal is to provide better nutritional support for children as well as for pregnant and lactating mothers. With the collaboration of IIT Bombay, caregivers will be trained in scientifically backed techniques to improve breastfeeding and combat stunting, which remain a major concern in the state.
And again, these centers will be constructed with the help of the Community and Rural Development Department. So we are going to construct Anganwadi centers, upgrade the Anganwadi centers, with some support from the ADB also. So it's a project involving convergence of different programs and projects. But the purpose is, how actually we can provide a better support, a better experience for the children, pregnant mothers and lactating mothers.
The upgraded Anganwadi centers will be part of a larger convergence project with funding from the Asian Development Bank. Kumar stressed that this initiative will significantly enhance the well-being and learning experiences of children while also empowering mothers to provide the best care for their families. Reporting for Northeast Diary, this is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with Lamprang Nongspang from Akashvani News, Shillong.
Today we are taking a fascinating journey to the heart of Dibang Valley, where the Edu Mishmis call home. These remarkable people have built a lifestyle deeply intertwined with nature, embodying sustainability in their beliefs and practices aiming at preserving biodiversity. Interestingly, the Edu Mishmi language is one of the least spoken languages globally as recorded by UNESCO. Join our correspondent Jonomo Rando as he takes you through the distinctive attire, hairstyles and the rich cultural heritage of the Edu Mishmis.
The Idus are living in the hill and mountainous tract and foothills of Dibang Valley, Lower Dibang Valley, and some part of plain areas of Lohit district also settled as permanently. The origin of the tribe is still in a mystery. However, it is speculated and believed that the Idus might come from the East Asia and adjoining Mekong and Yangtze Valley, because all of them were Mongoloid tribe and linguistically Tibeto-Burman speaking. Their material culture is based on bamboo. They live in bamboo houses. Most of their household articles and implements are made of bamboo. They also practicing shifting method of cultivation, raise beer, dress themselves in scanty clothes. But in olden days, during the time of our forefathers, were separated that the Idus have been migrated from the border easternmost provinces of at present China. The Idus have been dispersed due to various features: the population explosion and consequent movement of tribes, inter-tribal feuds, natural calamities, and quest for better land, change in subsistence occupations from food gathering to agriculture. Consequently, on this dispersal, the main group to which Idu belonged was scattered to different directions. The Idus of Arunachal Pradesh is one of the major tribes having some distinctive cultural characteristics of their own. Their society is governed by a council of elders, popularly called Abela, which is of different status. The Abela is responsible for maintain of peace and harmony among the members of the Idu society, and also empowered to settle disputes of any sort with the help of their customary laws. The verdict given by the Abela is usually be honored by both the parties. In this, an attempt has been made to record these unwritten verbal customary laws of the Idus with a view to give an idea about the administrative norms and procedures of smooth management of the society. Indigenous weaving system of Idus. Idu women do not use elaborate garments. Their dress consists of only two pieces of skirt, thuma and thui, which reaches from the waist down to the ankle. Like their women, Idu men do not use elaborate garments. A loincloth protects his modesty. The portion of upper part of his body, a sleeveless shirt of worn, which is woven from cotton or wool. All women know how to produce apparel for themselves, for the family in their small waist looms. There is no fixed frame and no reel, but an interesting feature of the fabric is that only the warp is visible on the surface and very compact and thick. Weaving keeps women occupied in hard leisure hours. Fibers are extracted from malu, a nettle plant, and nave, a small shrub. These are collected from the jungle and dried. The fibers are extracted and made into balls and then put into hot water. The ash of burnt wood is added to it and stirred with a ladle. The yarn is then taken out, washed, dried, and then put into the loom. Cotton yarns are all imported as cotton does not grow in the valley. Nowadays, yarns are available in the market in a variety of colors and at reasonable prices. The indigenous method of extraction of weaving is totally given up in the present context of Dibang Valley and Lower Dibang Valley districts. During these days, the Idus are adapted for their looms from the plants, like the dyes are made from plants found in the jungle. Only three colors are made: red, green and black. The dye is always prepared in jungle and kept secret. The color combination in shirt is black, red and green. Red and black are used in diamond designs. There are different varieties of shirts which are woven in the portable loom. A tonde is a very costly garment made of wool. A tomazo is a sleeveless shirt made with a mixture of wool and cotton yarn. A tolu, a half silk shirt, is made from the yarn extracted from nabembo, a small shrub plant, and mixed with cotton yarn and also feel very warm. Halu is a blanket made from malu and nabembo fibers. It is very warm and meets the requirement of bleak winter climate. In the modern days, the development of socio-economic is one of the pivotal role, and advancement of scientific technology is impact on everywhere. Since then, Idu Mishmi have concentrated on agriculture, but slowly it became a changing now. In the urban areas, they have established a good business in different areas, and secondly, literacy rate is increasing day by day, and most of the educated unemployed youths, they have been engaged under child employment scheme. In the rural areas, the villagers still have habits of barn and slash shifting cultivation and their own zoomland areas. Though the rural life is not fully changed and yet to come across, a lot of things has to do. In the sight of social changes, a lot of reformation has come in view of child marriage system and fine system of punishment. In the development of road communication, we need accessible master plan for connectivity of town to town and village levels. Though all Idu Mishmi are not lettered, but they knows the dignity and magnanimous of their outside people.
In our Personality of the Week segment, we feature an interview with Bangar Kamzuk Longma, the founder of Cipher Guard, a cybersecurity startup. The interview is conducted by Akashwani presenter Asangla. At present, Cipher Guard specializes in cybersecurity awareness, seminars and workshops for institutions and organizations.
Listeners, joining me today is a dynamic, innovative individual named Bangar Kamzuk Longma, and he is the founder of Cipher Guard. And thank you, sir, for being on our show.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here.
To start off with, can you let us know what is Cipher Guard, and can you tell us the history behind its startup? When and how did it came into being?
See, the Cipher Guard, the name, I got it from the technical derivation. Cipher means trying to encrypt something. It is a well encrypted term which we use in the technical field. And that is how I came up with the Cipher Guard. And we go by the motto, defending every byte, defending every single kilobyte, every single data that is spread and being available on the internet. And firstly, me getting interested and getting into the field of cybersecurity was influenced by the cybercrime attack, which was held in 2017. It was a ransomware attack. It affected more than 200,000 computers worldwide, and affecting more than 150 countries. And that is how, it kind of influenced me, wanted to get more into it, want to learn the basics, want to learn the essence on how to gain control of others' computer and, do what we want to do with that, right? So it was a very interesting thing, but as I kept growing and keep learning about it, I got to know that hacking is not a good field to be generally what we presume is hacking means doing malicious activity, right? So hackers are of, different types, good hackers and bad hackers, right? So I was, following my experience in that cyber attack, I was influenced and I wanted to go to that bad path, So as I was growing up, I learned that it's not a good field for me that I would be ending up in jail very soon. So by the time I reached in class 12, I think it was 2018 or 2020. Yeah. So during that time, I was already developing websites, web pages by my own. I did not get any formal education on that. I learned everything by myself through YouTube, Google Chromes, and so on.
Wow.
And that is how, I got to get involved in that. By the time I was in college, I was already working with government officials from different sectors and with the police forces and the paramilitaries as well on different cases. And that is how I learned that, the cybersecurity is a field which is a must, which is a very necessary component in our society. And looking at our society, especially Nagaland in particular, I feel that we Nagas are lacking behind in this especially. And that is how I just came up with the idea of forming a business out of it, not solely for earning money, but for literating the people and everyone around us. No? Prior to this, I already founded another business which got acquired just last month. And this is my another venture. So I'm just hoping that we get a good go through to this.
So can you let me know when did this started?
Okay, so Cipher Guard, we were planning from the month of April this year. And I was doing some researches on the pros and cons, the limitations and so on. And upon further and proper researches, we decided that we'll be formally forming the company, and it was in the month of September we formally decided, and it's been 1 month so far.
Well, it's a great initiative. And now, as you have mentioned that this is a new venture for you and it is also in its nascent stage as well. So I just want to know, how does it work and how do you promote it to the people? Because I believe that even most of the people are not aware of its existence as well, right?
Right. So although the company is quite new in the society and some organizations, I'm very well acquainted with them, and on some circumstances, on some situations, we get along and we discuss these things. And although we are still growing, and the services we provide at Cipher Guard is mainly literating people on cybersecurity. We give and provide cybersecurity workshops, seminars, and consultations to institutions, individuals, and various organizations. And so far, we have covered a few institutions and some other organizations as well. This is something that we need to start from the initial stage. And initial stage, I mean by literating the people first before we go to a greater step. So this is the initial stage that we are at, and we are also in the future, we're planning to provide various services like penetration testing, website development, ethical hacking courses, cybersecurity courses, and so on. And we're applying and working with different organizations to aid us in applying and auditing for such certifications and licenses.
Well, now I'm just curious to know, as you in our discussion have mentioned about it being self-taught, and I'm bringing that up again. But since it's self-taught, is there any license or certifications or professional courses that you have to go through or that you need to acquire in order to work in this field professionally?
Well, definitely, because in today's date, all the resources are available for free on the internet. And my main source of learning was through online, like Google and YouTube. During our time, I used to learn it during 2017, 18, 19, and 20. So during that time, there were the social medias were quite limited. But as of now, social media is everywhere, and all the materials, all the resources are available in social media as well. So I think all the interested individuals can go through and, they can get excessive knowledge through it. My main recommendation is YouTube. Because in YouTube, if you go through nicely, you'll receive lots of very resourceful resources. And like I said, Nagaland has a lot of potential, but we don't know where to utilize it, And as I was learning and all, I have met a lot of instances where small businesses especially, they have been gone through these cyber attacks and so on their, websites, payment gateway and so on. So these kind of things are something to be looked into. And therefore, literating them about cybersecurity, the cyber awareness is the foremost. And this is something which we should mainly focus on and consider, giving it a first privilege on literating them before we bring up another kind of services and another challenges.
Well, now that you have highlighted the cyber security scenario of our state, what are some developments that you can bring to this field?
See, like I said earlier, we are at the initial stage and we are mainly focusing on literating individuals first. That is our foremost agenda. And apart from that, we are also providing domain name registrations and so on, web development and penetration testing also. But penetration testing and other resources, other services, we'll be keeping it aside for now, because we want to literate people more on what cybersecurity is and how vulnerable it is and how we can stay away or how we can protect ourselves from that. So that is our main agenda, and we are mainly focusing on that first.
Well, educating and sensitizing the people on this particular topic is the need of the hour. So my question to you is that, can you describe some pertinent terminologies in the world of cybersecurity to the people that we should be aware of?
On your question, there are certain terminologies which we Nagas are very kind of ignorant about it also. Main terminologies are phishing. Phishing is one of the most common attacks also in every part of the region. So phishing is one where cyber criminals, they send malicious links, pretending to be very legit, right? So you will receive, just taking the example of Instagram, right? You will receive a login request from Instagram website, from their email to your Gmail, right? And then it will look so legitimate, that you won't even suspect that it's fake, right? And then you go and click on the link, and then that's how you get your account is stolen from you, right? And then we have, these are some unheard words, phishing. Okay. So phishing is something which is getting very popular these days. It's something where the cyber criminals, they call you through phone calls and they try to manipulate their voice or use artificial intelligence, and they try to lure you into providing your credentials and try to scam you through that. And then we have smishing also. So smishing is a term where we in which the cyber criminals, they send you some links through SMS or some kind of encoded words through SMS, and we get when we unknowingly click on that, we get our accounts get hacked and so on. The other things are malwares and then viruses, so on. I think everyone knows these things. Just that there are different types of malwares also. There are some malwares which can be detected, but there are some which cannot be detected. So, for these kind of things, it's always better to consult a cybersecurity professional.
Well, I must admit that I, being one of the ignorant in this field, I've learned some new terminologies through you, and thank you so much for that. Speaking of which, scams throughout the years has become more and more rampant. What are the steps to be taken as well?
See, scam is not a new thing actually. The oldest scams dates back to 1920s and so on, even before the World War, right? So it's quite intriguing that we, in a growing society in a very 21st century, right, where artificial intelligence and robotics are so prevalent, we are still ignorant of this. That's one thing. And as for the scams, cybersecurity in whole, it's as field where you need to be always a step ahead because of the evolving technology, right? So along with us, there are cyber criminals who are also, mending themselves, trying to be better, right? And especially with the introduction of artificial intelligence, it is very easy for cyber criminals to manipulate things around, and they have gotten much more smarter than before. And for example, we have the recent RGA scam, right? So it was very funny. I was doing a research on that. I did background research on everything. Of course, I was doing a private research, and after thorough research, and we got to learn a lot about their modus operandi. And it's quite intriguing that these people can manipulate things around. Their domain names are registered from one country, but they're operating from another country. Their bank accounts linking to another country, right? So and then they are laundering money from us, the Indians, Naga especially, and then they're laundering back to different countries. From different countries, they're laundering back money through cryptocurrency into their wallet, into their pocket, right? So it's cybercrime, and this kind of scams are, it's an elaborative thing. If we were to talk about it, we will have all day, to be talking about it. So this kind of things takes place, and should anyone fall prey to this kind of scams, one thing they can do is they can block their social account or the bank accounts, right, by contacting the bank, and then they can also register an FIR with the police. If not, they can also go to the website cybercrime.gov.in and then they can file an online complaint there as well. So that's the thing.
Well, is there any way to prevent it before it happens?
Preventing is a very tricky thing actually, because from my personal experiences and my working experience, right, preventing is possible, but like I said, we humans are ignorant, right? We don't think of the precautions. We only think about preventing. And when something happens, it's not always possible to prevent it, right? So that's one thing. So you just have to be vigilant. When you receive some emails or some messages, you always look through the, domain name of the sender. You just look at their email address, if it's legit or not, if it's from the official account of the company or from the bank, etc., right? Then you can always contact the customer care numbers, which is available on the official websites of the organizations and company, right? We can always do that. And then we should always use VPN so that our IP addresses can be protected. And then we should always use web browsers which can detect phishing pages. And we can use that. And when you open a link, and if your website says this website doesn't look safe, then it's probably unsafe, because the web knows better, right? And then don't click on any random links unless you know who the person is, right? That's the thing.
Thank you so much for all the guidelines and the tips that you have given to all our listeners.
Folks, you just heard the interview with Pangar Khamzak Longkhumar, founder of Cipher Guard, conducted by Asangla. And now enjoy the heartfelt melody of Vadia, a soulful track that celebrates the beauty and grandeur of Northeast India, brought to life by the talented composer and emerging vocalist Nitin Chaube.
वादियाँ खूबसूरत वादियों में मेरा दिल, वादियाँ खूबसूरत वादियों में मेरा दिल, बादलें खूबसूरत बादलों में ये बादलें खूबसूरत वादियों में ये बादलें, अब यही ठिकाना किस और ही जाना, बन जाए हम दोनों का आसियाना, चल बना ले आसियाना, झूमे मेरा दिल पहाड़ों में, वादियों में रास्तों में हवाओं में, झूमे मेरा दिल पहाड़ों में, वादियों में रास्तों में पहाड़ों में.
So with that, we come to the end of this edition of Northeast Diary. Join us next week for more stories from this enchanting part of India. Goodbye for now.
सिक्किम में कंचगंगा का पर्वत विशाल, सूर्यों का देश अरुणाचल प्रदेश, बादलों का घर मेघालय है सुंदर, असम की ये चाय लोगों को लुभाए, मणिपुर की लीला मोहनी का है प्यार, नागालैंड की धरती पहाड़ का है प्यार, त्रिपुरा की मूर्ति सबका प्यार, मेरा दिल मेरा दिल मेरा दिल मेरा दिल, झूमे मेरा दिल पहाड़ों में, वादियों में रास्तों में हवाओं में, वादियों में रास्तों में हवाओं में, वादियों में रास्तों में हवाओं में.
This program was presented and produced by Vinita Thakur with assistance from Kumar Gaurav. It was brought to you by the News Services Division of Akashvani.